Joining our conversation is podcast host, author of The Red Letter on Substack, Tara Palmeri's here. She also hosted 2 investigative series on the topic called Broken, Jeffrey Epstein, and Power, the Maxwells. Also joining us, former Criminal Division Deputy Chief at SDNY, our friend, MSNBC legal analyst, host of the YouTube show Courtside, Kristy Greenberg's here. Tara Palmeri, I have to say, just... You know, I've listened to all of your content and your great conversations and interviews, and I've read everything Julie K. Brown has reported on this, but to actually talk to any victim of sexual assault, but a victim of Jeffrey Epstein's is just horrifying. Your thoughts on where this whole slow motion sort of train wreck stands?
You know, it's sad to me, Nicolle, because the more and more I hear from people, the more I hear, oh, you know, does it make Trump look bad? Is it going to just, you know, what is the political reason for all of this, right? It's all about trying to slime one person or another instead of remembering the victims, the survivors of Epstein, and what this is really about, justice. And I think, you know, they become just like pawns in these political power games. And that's why we have to keep hearing their testimony, remembering that they are real people, that there are real broken lives because of Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. And, you know, they are demanding justice. Like so many of them, they want to know what's in the files. And there's information that is going to make people look bad on both sides of the aisle. And I think the problem is that when there's a feeling like, oh, this is no longer interesting in terms of a political story, it loses the interest of the powers that be, right? I mean, I think it's amazing that you have stayed on this story day after day, week after week, and I really commend you for that. And you've shown such sensitivity to it. But I worry that over time, people will just forget about them again and forget about the justice that they never were able to get to begin with, and that they'll just have to continue moving on and feel like they were just pawns, placeholders on top of the Capitol Hill steps to make, you know, Trump look bad. And they'll never really actually be able to, you know, put together the pieces of their broken lives, frankly.
Yeah, I mean, I guess on the political piece, I don't even understand the political piece. Donald Trump talked about grabbing women in the you-know-where, and he won. Like, yeah. I have no gut on the politics of anything relating to, and he's an adjudicated sexual abuser. I mean, I have no idea about the politics of these issues. And as a woman and as a mom, I find that totally depressing. So not only, I mean, I don't care about the political piece of this. What I think is fascinating is that this is such an FU to Trump's base and to sort of the MAGA adjacent manosphere that more than pushed him over the edge in November. To all these prominent men, this feels like I'm almost more interested in the politics for Joe Rogan and Andrew Schultz than I am the politics for Donald Trump. Donald Trump seems to like be like a guy in space. There's no political gravity for Donald Trump, and he's a lame duck anyway. What confounds me is for all these people who made the truth, which is ostensibly about the truth for the purposes of the victim, central to their rise in new media. Where are they going to say, oh, never mind? I mean, that to me, Tara, is the part of the story where I have just sort of, I have insatiable despair for the victims who, to your point, have done these interviews. It has to be horrible. I mean, I have waited to do an interview until I just had too many questions not to, and had seen Alicia so many other places. But the idea that people who rode this to some sort of fame in the manosphere, how could they ever drop it after all that this story sort of paid them out in terms of viewership and listeners and stickiness and trust? Like, how does Joe Rogan, or how do they say, oh, never mind, I really never cared about that anyway?
I mean, that's the political angle, right? I mean, that's to me, that's the us versus them part. And if you are saying that they're no longer the enemy, we're the ones holding back the information, it just creates this entire confusion. And if you're suddenly covering for the person who doesn't want to release the files, you're showing that you're the lapdog, right? I mean, it's really confusing for people like Joe Rogan, Charlie Kirk, Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, because the list was supposed to be all Democrats, right? Like that was what the story was all along. But now you've got a very prominent Republican, the leader, the person that unites them all, the MAGA base, saying, I don't want this out there because they're innocent people. You know, it's just very confusing. And so what are they supposed to do? Are they supposed to turn on Trump and say, Trump, you have to release the list. You have to release the files. Excuse me. You have to release the files. No, because it's a confusion for their audience who they've been telling all along that it's a cabal of Democratic elites. It's like, no, this is actually really messy. This is a lot of elites from all different spectrums. And when you only look at it as a cudgel, as a tool, you've missed the plot. And that's why I think they're drowning in the story, and suddenly you don't hear it anymore. You really don't.
Yeah.
It's getting quieter.
I mean, J.D. Vance said on Sunday that a bunch of Democrats went to Epstein Island. So like, where are those names? I mean, what's amazing to me is they can't even decide what they want to say about it, and they know everything. I mean, arguably, J.D. Vance knows everything that's in it. Elon Musk must know what's in it. He tweeted about it, about Trump being in it.
That was another episode of the Tara Palmeri Show. If you like this show, please rate, review it, share it with your friends. Leave me a comment. I want to hear about what you want to learn about. You could also write me a review if you're listening to this on iTunes or on Spotify. I want to thank my producer, Eric Abenante, and I want to thank my team. That's Adam Stewart on the thumbnails, Sarah Carney on the social media, Luke Radel and Abby Baker on socials, on our weekly quiz, and on research. I'll be back again soon, but of course you can support my reporting by becoming a paid subscriber to the Red Letter. You can find that by going to tarapalmeri.com, and that's the way you can get my exclusive reporting straight to your inbox. I'll be back again soon.